Hello. Hello, everyone. Happy afternoon. Friday. A little bit late with the stream today. I was going to start at 1, but then I pushed it back to 3. I had, work deadlines I had to finish. And then some other stuff. But now we're live. Going to talk about a few things today. Going to talk about the Mavericks game last night. Obviously, my stream cut out. My power stood no chance. Like, the moment I heard rain starting to hit the fucking windows and wind, it went out immediately. Which is kind of hilarious because I really wish you could make this up. Like, this seems like a bit almost. I did survive the storm. I mean, the storm lasted 10 minutes. It took so long for my power to get back, which I guess I shouldn't be complaining, but who made the 3? Oh, Kyrie, nice. Kyrie's got 5 points already. Beautiful start for Kai. Love it. This will be a nice win. As you guys know, I'm numb, so you could suck me back in easily. It doesn't take much suck for me to get going. I'm not kidding. My power went out immediately after I said that. Like, that's not a bit. That wasn't a joke. That was exactly when my power went out. That exact moment, and it never came back on the rest of the game. I would have gone live. I would have gone live immediately had my power came back on, but it never did. All right, so today we're going to talk about the game last night. I think we're going to go over the top duos in the NBA. I've done no research for this. We're just going to work through it as a community. What's the best duo in the league, and is it Kyrie and Luka? What do you do for work? Feels like full-time YouTuber. I wish it was, but it's not. I work from home. I don't really want to get into it. So anyways, I'm doing my top 100 list. It's done. It's complete. Next week, we'll be doing it. I believe Monday, Thursday, and Friday, I believe, the Mavericks don't play. So those will be the days that I unveil. I think I'm going to do 3 parts. I think maybe the first part will be top 50. Then the second part will be maybe the top 25 or 50 to 25. And the next part will be the top 25. Does that sound right? Yeah, I'm in waste management. But anyways, I thought today I'll do a little top 100 primer. We'll go over players who dropped out of my preseason top 100 list. You guys remember I did a preseason top 100 list. We're going to talk about guys who are added and the big risers and the big fallers. So that's what we're going to talk about later in the stream. No, I don't think this was real. It surfaced on Twitter. And I was like, I gotta get this fucking shirt. And a bunch of bot accounts replied to me. And I bought it online. And it got here. It's really shit quality. It is absolute shit quality. But I did purchase a shirt that I made. It's not merch or anything, but it could be. Let's talk about this. I mean, NBA media lately, NBA media has always been batshit insane, right? It's just kind of because the league itself is fucking crazy. The league itself is absolutely insane. But it really feels like the NBA media has been unhinged as of late. Doesn't it feel that way? Like, the NBA media is just... Lately, it's just been way too much. So, Mavericks get a much-needed win last night. Kyrie, Luka, the first time in Mavericks history, a duo is combined or has scored 40 points each. And this is the question that gets asked. Despite the fact that Kyrie has publicly said, hey, I don't want to talk about this shit. We got 20 games left. I'm focused on the rest of the season.
I'm getting there. Dallas is welcoming me with open arms and very far we get our win on our home floor. So thanks for stopping.
So she asked her, do you feel at home here? Which is obviously the idea is, and listen, listen. As somebody who's worked in the sports industry, I can tell you that might not have been her question. So I don't want to go at her because that might not have been her question. She might have been told to ask that. That's something that happens, right? But anyways, obviously the idea was, oh man, they just got an emotional big win. Kyrie just had a big performance at home. Ask him. Fucking ask him if he feels at home. Let's get this shit going. Oh my God, Kyrie said he feels at home and he loves it here. Oh my God, he's doing it again. Like, there's no answer that Kyrie would have had to that question that would have been good for him. You know, absolutely none. And that's actually the best answer he could have possibly have given. You know, my sympathy for LeBron, how he's dealt with these vultures for 2 decades. Yeah, there will literally never be another face of the league like LeBron James. There just never will. I mean, there might not ever be another superstar athlete like LeBron James in how good he's been for how long, and 2, it's just like he was just he's been a master at it, the media stuff. I mean, the biggest blemish on his thing was the China comments, which weren't even that fucking bad in my opinion. Like, if that's the biggest blemish on your resume, and I guess the decision, which was a huge fuck up, obviously, but what, that was 13 years ago? Holy shit. No, that was like 14 years ago. Oh my God. We are old as dirt. Yeah, producer probably did come up with that question. In his freedom, still trying to beat up LeBron? Yeah, I know. He's embarrassing. I think the decision was a fuck up for sure. I think especially at that time. I think maybe something like that would go over differently today. And maybe you could argue that the decision set up the way that things are today. But the decision was definitely a fuck up. That, like, he could have handled that better. I think the decision would have been a cool thing if he stayed in Cleveland. But the fact that it was leaving and joining a super team in Miami, it just came off very weird. I would feel more sympathy to players if they didn't make tens of millions of dollars a season. Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's not like being an athlete is just showing up and working 2 hours. Like, they're working literally all day, every day. And, you know, they're humans as well. And I can't imagine, no matter how much money you make, like, constantly being worn down by the media and having millions of people reacting to what you're saying. I'm sure that wears on you at a certain point. I think in retrospect, it seems like less insane to have a conference for that. In retrospect, sure. But at the time, it was fucking insane. Like, I remember exactly where I was. I was out of town. I was in a hotel lobby. I don't even remember where. I think I was in Atlanta or something. And they had it on in the hotel lobby. I mean, this was like a huge fucking event. There was like watch parties for it. They do work hard, but the trade-off for huge amounts of money and the fame and what comes with it. I mean, yeah, I do agree. Like, at the end of the day, they are financially in a better position than 99.9% of everybody else. But I will say this, though. You know, at least I could look at athletes and say, oh, well, they are the best at what they do. Sports is the closest thing there is to a meritocracy. The best players are more than likely going to make the league. Like, very rarely. Like, scouting is so advanced now in every sport. Very, very rarely does the cream of the crop, does the cream not rise to the top? Very, very rarely, right? Whereas I look at some other people who are fucking filthy rich. I'm like, what do you do? Like, oh, your dad was the CEO of Lay's. Oh, okay. Thanks. That's all I needed to hear. Oh, this person is a billionaire? How? Oh, his dad was a real estate mogul. Oh, okay. See, like, at least I can say athletes are, like, fucking good at what they do. Like, legitimately the best in the world at what it is they do. And what it is they do produces billions of dollars. So, I was in 3rd grade. My mom was making dinner, and it was on the news. I mean, for sports fans, that was like a 9/11 type of thing. Like, you almost remember exactly where you was in the news coverage. So anyway, dumb as shit question. I kind of want to watch highlights from last night's game. Am I allowed to do that? I mean, it's free on YouTube, right? Like, how about Chris Dunn and Sohan getting into it 5 days ago? How about Chris Dunn on the Jazz? He hasn't been half bad. Either way, let's take a look at what happened last night. This just in. Side Vice compares LeBron to Miami in 9/11. For Cleveland fans, a lot of YouTubers react to highlights. All right. So the Mavericks did win. It was a crazy game. And listen, I want to say this, right? It was a big scoring game for both teams, obviously. No way. Jonathan Isaac undergoes another surgery. It's over for him, man. Another surgery for Jonathan Isaac. I mean, that's probably it, right? Like, I can't imagine. He's only 25 years old, but that's just too much fucking. Like, we're going to be, what, 4 years and, like, 12 games played for him? That's true. He does have his part-time job at the Daily Wire. That's very true. But, man, I was kind of wondering, like, if he kind of closed the season out doing well, like, what would his trade market be? I mean, didn't we talked about that, actually, 2 days ago. Damn. That sucks. I mean, an adductor muscle? What's the severity of that, though? Like, is this, like, maybe a precautionary thing? I don't know. I don't know medical shit. Like, could that maybe be a cautionary thing, or is he fucked? Either way, that's horrible. So anyways, the Mavericks inside thigh area. But could that be like a, hey, like maybe getting surgery's best, 2-3 months from now? That does suck for Jonathan Isaac. It really does. All right, so last night's game, I want to talk about it. I did watch the second half live on my phone. It was weird because I lost power and I did not have service for like the first half of the game. So I couldn't even watch it. I couldn't pull it up on my phone. I had to listen to the radio broadcast, which, by the way, Chuck Cooperstein does a good job. Chuck Cooperstein from time to time gets completely and totally trashed on Mavs Twitter, but he does a pretty good job on the radio. Have you started the list yet? I'm not doing the full list today. Today's just a primer. The full list will start next Monday, I believe. We'll start. Either way, obviously, fantastic stuff from Luka. Fantastic stuff from Kyrie. Thought Dwight Powell, honestly, was pretty good. I mean, Joel Embiid, 35 points, right? But Joel's kind of like Luka in the sense that, you know what? 35, we'll live with that. Like, if Kyrie puts up 30, or if Luka puts up 33, 34, 35 points against you, you're kind of like, you know what? Yeah. The mismatch in every NBA podcast aside the last night's. Dude, the mismatch has become borderline horrible. The combination of Kevin O'Connor just being like this weird, hateful, like incel vibe guy, where it's like anytime Kyrie gets brought up, it's just like, and then also Verno, like, defending Ja Morant no matter what it honestly entered weird territory. It has entered strange territory. And I like Verno usually. I think he's pretty fucking funny. And a good podcast host. Skip said today as if LeBron needs surgery. Yeah, but Verno's homerism is at least kind of funny. And it's the Grizzlies, It's not like it's this, like the Celtics, it's annoying because it's the fucking Celtics. Like, this dynasty for 40 years. Yeah, KOC's been annoying me lately. And then I also listen to the Hoop Collective. Oh my God, that is getting unlistenable too. Everything they talk about somehow circles back to Kyrie, even if he's not even involved in the conversation. It's horrible. Can't wait to watch this team beat the Suns tomorrow. Well, it's Sunday. Sunday's when the game, right? Yeah, Sunday. I hope you're right. So anyways, Luka and Kyrie go off 42, 40, 13 of 22, 15 of 22, 6 of 8 from 3, 7 of 13 from 3, 12 assists for Luka. That was a dominant performance, man. Reggie, 5 of 10 from deep. He was great. It was just a nice all-around game. Josh Green had a rough game, but that's okay. 4 turnovers. You know, he was a big reason why that lead in the fourth quarter became very scary. But all in all, obviously they got to get better at holding these fucking leads. But this is going to sound crazy because they gave up 126 points. I don't think defensively they were that bad last night, to be 100% honest with you. I think there was a lot of tough shots made by the Sixers, and Embiid was doing Embiid stuff. But I actually thought defensively it wasn't terrible. And when you combine that with, at least comparatively speaking to where they have been at times this year. And then beyond that, though, if you go back to the Indiana game, defensively, the last 6 minutes or so of that game was the best the Mavs defense has looked in months. Like, straight up. The best the Mavs defense has looked in months. So, maybe it's starting to trend in the right direction. I don't know. There's a dude in the chat usually that, oh, yeah, I know. AZ280. I mean, that's like his 18th account or 19th account. But he usually does not come out during Suns games. Sunday's going to feel like a damn playoff game. Yeah, Sunday's going to be a great game. Green and Wood make some super dumb fouls and turnovers. It seems like a confidence thing. Yeah, I think Christian Wood's confidence is shot. He was awful last night. I think his confidence is completely gone, and he's got 20 games left as a member of the Mavericks. And then AZ Cards fan better be here Sunday. That's the same guy as AZ280. It's the same guy. Yeah, Luka was on the bench. I mean, the good news is once Luka and Kyrie checked in, it was over. Like, they weathered the storm. My overall assessment is it's a good win. You know, yes, I agree. Needing 82 points combined from Luka and Kyrie to win is not a great thing. But I want to say this, too. I forgot which podcast I was listening to. Someone was like, oh, well, the 76ers played the night before, and they didn't get in until 4 a.m. That's true. That's all very true. But they also said, like, yeah, the Sixers really wanted that game against the Heat. They probably didn't care about the Mavericks. The Sixers didn't play Joel Embiid against the Heat. Like, they rested Joel Embiid against the Heat, and then he played against the Mavericks. I just wish sports media would get serious. That's really what it boils down to for me. It was a mismatch? Oh, okay. I just, you know, blowing a 20-point lead in 90 seconds was objectively very funny. Oh, it was hilarious. And the funny thing was for me was I lost like service. So my TNT stream cut out. So I couldn't fucking refresh it. And I go on Twitter and I see everyone like, oh my God, this fucking team. And I'm like, oh God, like, here we go. You know, it's probably some PTSD. Like, everyone's overreacting. I go and I look at the ESPN box score. It was a 4-point game. And it was a 15-0, 16-0 run. And I was just like, wait. How the fuck does that even happen? How the hell does that even happen? And then I also saw somebody on, I don't know if it was Twitter or Reddit after the game, because I was just perusing the Mavs subreddit after the game. But someone was like, hey, you got to give Kid credit, man. He took a timeout in the fourth to stop that run. Dude, it was a 10-0 run. That is not a quick timeout, man. 10-0 is a very excruciating long timeout. That is a long time to let a run go. Okay? Usually, especially at the start of quarters. Usually at the start of quarters, 4-0 runs, those get timeouts. Like, no. Let's go. Let's talk this over. Rick Carlisle took 2 separate timeouts during Mavs 4-0 runs on Tuesday night. Yeah, through the wire is good. How you feeling about the Mavs' chances on Sunday? I mean, not great, to be 100% honest with you. They can win, but it would be very Mavericks, right? To beat the Sixers, then beat the Suns, but I will say this, though. Like, when was the last time that they got their ass kicked? Like, this is part of why the Mavericks are so frustrating and why they're so, you know, you get your hopes high for them. Like, literally, when was the last time they got their ass kicked? You could maybe argue this Nuggets game. I don't think the score was as close, but that was just such a weird fucking game. Kyrie didn't play the night before the All-Star break. Like, that game was so disgusting, and obviously, even players on the Nuggets didn't want to be there. I can maybe look past that. But if you want to count that, fine. But outside of that, like, when is the last time they got their ass kicked? This Clippers game. This Clippers game was terrible. Yeah, they did get their ass kicked the second half against LA. You're right. I honestly now believe if Wood had a consistent minutes rotation, we are looking at a different player. I just don't. I don't think Christian Wood's a good player. No, I'm definitely still worried moving. I mean, worried? I mean, what do you mean worried, though? My expectations for this... My new expectations for this team moving forward is... my new expectations for the Dallas Mavericks moving forward... Hold on, let me tweet out that I'm live. Is playoffs, win a series, be competitive in the second round. That's what it is. I want to head into the offseason thinking, okay, we do this, this, and this, and we're in the mix next year in a major way. You know, that's what I want to enter next season feeling after the postseason. Now, that scares me a little bit because I don't want to, like, do enough in the postseason where, like, the front office is like, oh, we're ready. Like, oh, like, we don't need to do anything. Like, we just need a full offseason together. That actually concerns me a little bit. I know for a fucking fact this team would do something like that. Our thoughts are with Jonathan, whose fortitude in dealing with adversity is unique. Jonathan has worked extremely hard to return to the court this season and the future. I mean, if he's ready to start next season, this might not be that big of a deal. If it was just some, like, precautionary thing, I don't know. Live right now, going over the Mavericks win over the 76ers, ranking the best duos in the NBA. And talking about my top 100 list. Get in here. That's a total Donnie move. I trust Nico more. Well, okay, well, I'll give him this. Like, it was pretty obvious after the season ended last year that we needed rebounding and interior defense. And they did go get JaVale McGee. Like, there was at least, it didn't work out. But there was at least, like, okay, this is what we need to do. We're going to address it. Yeah, my power went out yesterday because of the storm. I think it was mainly the wind more than anything else, which I guess is part of the storm. So, yes, the storm. What was I about to do? Oh, yeah, I bought a shirt that I made. Scroll. I made this shirt and I bought it. I don't know when it'll be here. Hopefully within a few days. My favorite NBA team is trying to kill me. It's true. I'm going to start wearing this during every fucking Mav stream. And just so, like, I don't need to, like, even say anything. The shirt just speaks for itself. Feel like Sunday's going to be all offensive. Dude, you know what I'm actually envisioning? This is such a Mavericks thing. The final score. You know what? I'll even say this. Mavericks win just because vibes are so fucking low. Like, we're done. The Mavericks lose to the Pacers. It's over. The couple nights after blowing a 27-point lead. Fuck this team. Right? Okay, you beat the 76ers. All right, whatever. You know, second night of it back-to-back. Kyrie and Luka needed 82 points to win that game. So what? Then on Sunday, they beat the Suns by, like, 103 to 97 or something. Like, 103 to 97. And everyone's like, oh, wait a second. The defense has actually figured it out. This team's going to fucking win the NBA Finals. And then, yep, Utah and a bad New Orleans team. 2 losses in a row, back-to-backs. That's just how this season has gone and how it'll probably continue to go. You need to buy that Horse Girl t-shirt collab thingy? What the hell is that? Link it in here. We never had anyone to guard Luka. We damn sure don't have anyone that can stop Kai. You saw the script? Yeah. I've seen the script. Like, they somehow win 103-98. And everyone's like, hold on 1 second. Maxey has like 4 blocks. Luka goes for like 31. No, Luka actually goes like 24 points and like 14 assists. And then boom, they lose it back-to-back against Utah and New Orleans. Are the Mavs holding someone to under 100 in the next 19 games? How do I bet? No. That would be a fun prop bet. Last time they did it was Phoenix. The game that Luka got hurt immediately in. Trying to find a way we beat Phoenix feels like writing fan fiction. Mavs Suns is going to be one. Guys, the Sundays on ESPN/ABC lately have been absolutely fire. No way the Suns don't score more than 100. No, I agree, but I'm telling you, this is such a Mavericks thing. What is that slate of games? Because last weekend's like they have like a quadruple header. 2 on ABC and then 2 on ESPN. Last weekend's was incredible. You had the Lakers and the fucking Mavericks, of course. What other game was on there? It was like the Clippers and Nuggets, right? Wasn't that one on ESPN? I don't know. They all bunched together at a certain point. Phoenix, Dallas, Golden State, LA, and Steph is maybe coming back for that game. Boston, New York, Memphis, LA. Dude, that is fantastic, man. They better, dude, they need to talk about this nonstop, man. Stop letting Kendrick Perkins come on your show and ramble on about nothing. All right, hype up these fucking games. Hype up these games endlessly. Hype up these games like you would NFL Sundays, and people will want to tune in. Saturdays, they usually have like a good primetime. Philly and Milwaukee. And what are tonight's games? I know there's a couple good ones. Brooklyn, Boston. Oh, that's not good. Denver, Memphis is fun. LA, Sacramento. The Clippers just got the brakes beat off them last night. Did you see Undisputed? I don't watch any of those shows live. The NBA is terrible at marketing its league, for sure. Minnesota, LA, that's a pretty serious game with a lot of implications right there. Utah, OKC, low-key has a decent amount of implications too. New York, Miami's, that one's juicy. Portland, Atlanta feels like must-wins for both of those teams at this point. Finally found it. Oh, yeah. These, I would want to buy these. Aren't these Mitchell and Ness or whatever? But they're $150. I think these are sick. Kid Super. I think those are sick. Some of these are pretty bad. The Jazz one's cool. I mean, you got to look at it thinking like they're supposed to be kind of bad. Nuggets. That one's sick in my opinion. Hawks one is sick. Hornets one's kind of lame. Indiana one's pretty sick. Cavs one sick. I don't get the Boston one. Like, how does that, like, what's, maybe I'm missing something? Because it's pretty much the same as the Brooklyn one, or the New York one, just different colors. Check Twitter DM. Kevin Porter Jr. twin. Look at little fella. Wow, they hate him, huh? I mean, they had that whole scuffle. Yeah, the Grizzlies one's sick too. Hornets run reminds you of Donkey Kong Country. The shorts are a big no-go for me. Oh, I don't like the Clippers one. That's a miss. Bulls one? No, that looks a little too weird. Spurs one's cool. Rockets one? Eh. Thunder one? Eh. Portland? That's sick. I like that. See, Raptors is the same one as the Boston and New York one. Jazz one's hideous? Really? I like the Jazz one. The thing with shit like this is it's either going to look cool or awful. I really feel like there's no in between. Whenever you're making like abstract stuff like this, it's either going to look sick or terrible. Yeah, $80 for shorts is absurd. I mean, anytime NBA does collabs like this, like with Mitchell and Ness and stuff too, they're always so expensive. Which is a shame because the Mavericks Mitchell and Ness stuff is like some of the best merch they have. Yeah, the Minnesota one's cool too. I really like the Nuggets one. All right, anyways, we are way off the beaten path here. I actually have no idea what the standings look like. I think the Mavericks are 6th. The Mavericks are 6th now. If you were to tell me right now this is how it shapes up, wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me. The Raptors one is a big Drake reference. All the eyes he was using when he was promoting views. Is that what it is? But the Boston and New York ones are the same ones. Yeah, the Clippers they're four straight losses. They haven't won since they picked up Russell Westbrook. Last night, I thought that they were cruising to a win. They were up 11. I went to go cook. I tweeted out Jordan Poole's slander. And next thing I know, Jordan Poole is going the fuck off in the third quarter. And the Clippers get ran out of the building. And now Kawhi's not playing. Paul George is still resting. It's just, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I genuinely don't know. Them and the Nets are going to be a big blemish. Or really, those two are going to perfectly encapsulate this player empowerment era. Because the next CBA, they're going to put their foot down on some of this shit, I'm imagining. The Clippers and the Nets, they will be the two, like, hey, you let the players run the organization. This is what happens. You let the players talk you into getting Russell Westbrook, even though you have Terrence Mann, who's blossoming into a really good player. Russell is cooked. The moment his contract is up, he's not playing a single second of NBA basketball. I think some tanking team will probably bring him in. He's still a huge name. The Mavs are 2-0 when I go to games. This season, the Mavericks are 3-0 whenever I, don't stream or get cut off in the middle of a stream due to powers outside of my control. Obviously, I've rage quit a couple of streams, but the Nets overtime game early in the season, Lakers Christmas Day game, and last night. The Cowboys, hey, believe this or not, the Dallas Cowboys have never lost a game when I'm in the building. It's like 6-0 or something. I pray for everyone in the West that Westbrook derails the Clips. I mean, I'm already, 2 days ago, we did the contender-pretender stream, and I put the Clippers in contender. I'm already wanting to walk that back immediately. It's like, I really, really, really want, I don't want to say want, but I do kind of want them to get serious and be good. I'm a big-time Kawhi Leonard fan. Like, I'm a huge Kawhi guy. But it's just like, go to a playoff game, the record will sue in. It's funny, Onyx, because I've only been to like 4 or 5 Cowboys games. 2 of them have been playoff games. And they won both of them. No, I'm not far from the American Airlines Center at all. I just haven't gone since I started streaming. Now, I'm thinking, just trying to work some stuff through my head. If they do make the playoffs this year, maybe I do an in-stadium stream. I don't know how that would look or how it would work, but I think that would be a fun thing to do. All right. We have to focus. Okay, Mavs are 6th seed. Warriors about to get Steph back. This is what I was saying a couple days ago. Like, if you find yourself behind the Suns and Warriors at this point, you're probably stuck behind them. So, if the Mavs ended up as a 6th seed, oh my God, there might be end of season. If this is how it looks in the final like 3 games of the season, with the Suns at 4 and the Warriors at 5, there might be some serious tanking efforts. Some serious tanking efforts to get the fuck out of 5 by the Warriors. No offense to the Kings, but if you're not gonna have home court advantage in the first round, I'm not playing the Suns. Like, I am not taking the Suns. I would rather play the Grizzlies. Yeah, if this were to end today, the Mavericks' first 2 rounds would be Kings and Grizzlies, which is pretty preferable. That's pretty preferable. There might even be, no, there's too many games separating the Nuggets, but there might be like a desire to get out of the 1 seed, honestly. Good to see you got your power back. I got my power back at like 10 p.m. last night. It was out for like 4 hours, the longest it's ever been out. But all right, let's just look at some of the highlights. I'm scared about doing this, but we'll see. Kings have the Mavs number. Playoffs are a different beast, man. They're just a different beast entirely. Dude, Sabonis is getting benched in your league. I know that. I know. Kyrie's just. Listen. I never cared. Like, Mavs fans were even falling into this trap of like talking about the Kyrie and Luka fit, and yeah, end of game stuff needs to be worked out, and that will. But dude, their offense has been so electric. I think they're 3rd in offense since the trade. Like, I don't care about their offense at all. You know, hey, look at Luka getting back in transition there. Maybe somebody got in his ear. But offensively, like the 2 games before, Kyrie was just in a shooting slump, and that shit just happens. He takes hard shots, man. He takes tough shots. So he's going to have games where he's not hitting shots, you know? And that's not like a big time, like, oh my God, the Mavericks fucked up. Like, they need to do X, Y, and Z. It's just like, oh, Kyrie's not making shots. We have to remember not everyone is Luka Doncic. You know, like, Luka's a top 3 player in the sport and maybe the best offensive player in the sport. Like, we have to understand not everybody is him, right? So there's going to be games where Kyrie's not, even though he's incredible. That was tough right there. Tough. Oh, and I want to talk about Reggie Miller. Oh, my God. I went back and I rewatched this today. I tweeted something out about this. Reggie Miller. Oh, my God. It is horrible, man. And this is just like, this goes back to what I've been saying, that, dude, the NBA media has just been so fucking bad lately. Like, every TNT game, every ESPN game, I mean, here's what it is, right? They get these teams maybe once every other week or something. So they go into these games. They have their talking points, right? They want to get a message across. And it doesn't matter what the flow of the game is. They're going to get their talking points. They're going to get their talking points across. Like, the whole game, Mavericks put up fucking 40 points in the first quarter, and they're like, yeah, they're too slow. Like, Luka, he's got to learn how to, like, I'm watching the game, and the way Reggie Miller is talking about Luka, you would think that he suffered a severe brain injury and forgot how to play basketball. Like, at some points it was like, Luka, you know, once he remembers how to dribble between his legs, like, once he learns how to pass the ball forward, it's going to be a big problem. It's like, you would never think. If you couldn't see the games and you only heard them talking about, if you only heard the color commentators, you would actually think that Luka was some fat 33-year-old coming off of a major injury that has to relearn how to play the sport, like a Disney Channel movie. Instead of the league leader in points, the engine of one of the greatest half-court offenses in the history of basketball. It's hilarious. It's so funny. Like it's just like, as a viewer, Reggie Miller's talking about how fat Luka is and that he really needs to get in shape. Meanwhile, he's like blowing by two of the better defenders in the sport, PJ Tucker and Joel Embiid, with ease. It's just so funny.
On a corner pocket three. The offensive greatness of Kyrie, just incredible. 17 points. Harris inside. Lowest scoring average for Tobias Harris.
It's so funny. To be honest, at this point, there's no arguments for Luka over Jokic as the best player, but he's a good second. Listen, I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't know if there's an argument currently. I don't know if there's currently a player better than Giannis. And I don't know if there's an argument for Jokic at this point. Just going to be honest. Now, I don't want to give any spoilers to my top 100 list, but
Here comes Harden all the way to the rack. And a chance at three. Harden has been sensational.
He's not in great shape. He's in really good shape.
this is the play I was talking about. He's not in great. I mean, look, like, here's my thing, right? Yes, Mavs fans, we do shit on him. We get mad at Luka. We say that Luka needs to lose weight. Luka needs to get in shape. Luka needs to do this, and that. But we say it when it makes sense. You know, we say it during games where, like, he's not getting up and down the floor. He's not getting back on defense. You know, he's pouting. Then we say, that's when we say that, right? We don't say it when he's in the midst of a 40-plus point game, 12 assists. You know? Yeah, we say it when it is needed. We don't say it when he's currently cooking a great defensive team. Yeah, Luka is much skinnier early in his career. That much is certain. I'm not arguing that at all. He's also much stronger now. Like he's able to back down guys. He's able to finish at the rim in a way that he wasn't able to do early in his career. So there's some trade-offs. I mean, this year he's better than he's ever been offensively. That much is certain. That's what's frustrating. Like, he's better now than he's ever been offensively. It's just like he's cleaning up so many things, like efficiency-wise, much better than he's ever been. Yeah, he's leading the fucking league in scoring.
So they want to put Embiid more in pick and rolls to give him more work to do on that side of the ball, and they want to focus on keeping.
Yeah, Luka in the bubble is something else. I don't, you know what? I don't really care about the weight either. And I don't even really get mad at the conditioning part, more so than I get mad at the terrible body language. And sometimes the lack of effort, which could be tied to conditioning for sure. But, like, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it in a game like last night when it wasn't warranted. I'm not going to talk about it when it doesn't feel like I need to be. The same way, like, I'm not going to sit here and shit on Dwight Powell last night. Why? Because he played well.
Because the guys on this team have a high IQ. He said they're going to get acclimated, and then they hope they can figure things out.
19-point Dallas lead as they have blown the doors open here in the third. Playbook, got it. Target practice.
Maxey, welcome back, dude. The fact that in a span of about, I mean, look at this lead. Luka hits that three. Boom. We're at 25. We're cruising. In the span of like 5 minutes. In the span of like 5 minutes, this lead went to a 4-point game.
How much they'll have left in the tank as we head down the stretch. Harden off balance three, and he knocks it down. All right, Stephanie and Reggie referenced it earlier, that 27-point blown lead Sunday to the Lakers.
Maxey was really good last night too.
And here comes Philly, showing some life. Maxey.
Josh Green had a rough sequence in the fourth quarter.
Pretty pass, puts it down, and he's fouled.
His father and mother are sitting here courtside, Tyrone and Denise. His father coached him as he was growing up. There's no surprise that he's ended up being the player that he is.
Over the last couple of years, Maxey gets the friendly bounce. Timeout taken by Dallas. The Mavericks back up off the mat.
Like, look at the time. Look at the time that went by in that stretch that made it a 4-point game.
Against the Lakers, you called a couple, and
And then Kyrie hits that and one, stabilizes things. This is what we wanted, right? Like, this is what it's all about. Your superstars, you're choking away a fucking lead. Your superstars come in and they weather the storm. That's what we want to see. Why is this 1 pixel? Kyrie was ridiculous. Luka was ridiculous. Yeah, I don't have any problem with Josh Green making mistakes. And it's like, look at that. That was beautiful. Boom! I was sitting in the dark on my phone, literally going, boom, boom!
What a swing that is for Philly. Some extended conversation with official Tom Washington.
Sick pass by Embiid. Honestly, a great passer. An underrated passer. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey, Dallas kid. Logan, $5 donation. I understand why you get mad. Rightfully so. Luka, it's not because we hate him, but it's because you like him and you want him to thrive. Yeah, I hopefully everyone understands that. That I actually believe Luka is the best player in the league when he's fucking locked in. Right? That's why I get angry. Yeah, I'd probably. Well, I'm trying to think. Does Maxey do what the Mavericks really need? It would be kind of similar to like his situation right now in the Sixers, honestly, assuming we still have Kyrie. Obviously, Maxey's a better player than Josh Green. No questions about it. And then the Sixers kind of made this game a little bit closer. But the Mavericks blew this thing open for all intents and purposes, right? So I thought they played well last night. They did a good job weathering the storm. So can this team win games normally? Apparently not. No. Apparently not. But what up, TGK? These same issues for Luka won't go away by now. They never will. I wouldn't say they never will. I'm still of the belief the Mavericks need like a Luka particularly needs. I said this before. Needs like a playoff disaster. That sucks to say, but like a game, like a series where it just like the blame falls on Luka and he's got to compartmentalize that and come back stronger next season. Like that's kind of like Tatum in the finals, honestly. I have no idea what's going on with Noel or any of the buyout guys. I mean, it sounds like Dragic is going to the Bucks. Yeah, LeBron in 2011. Exactly. I know that's what the thing is, Brandon. Like the Mavericks. Part of 5 months of the slightly delusional club. If we keep Kai, what's our best play for a center? Trading for him. The free agent list is terrible. I'm circling the wagons on Nick Claxton, by the way. I'm seeing what's up with Nick Claxton. I mean, where the fuck is that team going? You know, I'm seeing what's up with him. I'm calling Atlanta about Capella. I'm calling. I don't think this is possible, but if the Heat like flame out, I'm calling about Bam Adebayo. I don't know if it's possible, but there was another guy earlier today. Hold on, let me look at my top 100 list. There was a guy earlier today where I was thinking about him and I was like, could this guy low-key be available in the offseason? Like it kind of made some sense to me. Hold on, let me scroll through my list. I don't want Karl Anthony Towns before anybody asks. Like, great player, but it just doesn't do what the Mavericks need him to do. Okay. There was some. Oh, yeah. Okay, what about this? This is a little bit outside the box, but you have to bear with me here. And I don't know what the Mavericks would have to make it make sense. But what about Jarrett Allen? What about Jarrett Allen? The reason why I say that, unless Mobley really starts to shoot well, that's always going to be a weird offensive pairing, despite the fact that they are fantastic defensively. As long as Mobley is just not really developing that jump shot the way we'd want. It's going to be a weird. Yeah, I'm not sure how you could get him either, because they would probably want either like a 5 who could stretch a floor. Hey, sign and trade with Seawood? No. Or like a legit wing. That could be like a. Could that be like a Toronto move? Like OG goes to Cleveland, Toronto gets Jared Allen and then some, and they let Pirtle walk? Yeah, if Bam is available and you could somehow get him, literally give up whatever it costs. I agree. That's literally like you're winning a champion. If you just add Bam to Luka and Kyrie, you're winning a championship. You are winning a championship right then and there. And it could be like Jaden Hardy at the 2. I think Clint Capella could be had for not like that much, maybe. You know, I don't know if, let's say the Magic get Wembanyama. I mean, I'm calling about Wendell Carter. I don't think they would ever do it. He's just on too good of a contract. But I'm at least picking up the phone. No Vucevic. No Vucevic. Do not do that. I don't think Mitchell Robinson will be available. Walker Kessler obviously not available. Rudy Gobert, no thanks. Steven Adams. That would be actually nice, but I highly doubt he's available. Zubats, probably not available. Pirtle, he's going to he's going to stay in Toronto. They're not letting him go. Tristan Thompson, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Brook Lopez, but I don't know if the Mavericks are going to have enough. I mean, he's a free agent. Like, I don't know if they're going to be able to even entertain that. Beef stew? Brook Lopez is so old, too. I would rather... I don't know. Either way, they need to get somebody. I mean, that goes without saying. Beef stew's not a championship sitter. No, I agree not. But it'd be like a... Naz Reid. I'm just not... I don't know. I'm just not like a big Naz Reid guy. The way a lot of people are. I think he's good. I mean, the real dream would be, do the Mavericks even have a second-round pick in this draft, or do they have nothing? The real dream would be, because it seems like at least one of these guys get drafted a year. Like, these centers that go late that end up like being like legit contributors. That would really be nice. If you could somehow swing like a Walker Kessler. You know? I don't think Rui's a good player right now. Claxton could be available. Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. Was he a late second rounder? Eddie with the €3. Thank you so much, Eddie. I mean, Robert Williams, wasn't he like the last pick of the first round or something? Very late first rounder? No, Thomas Bryant's not fixing your defense at all. Would you take on Simmons for Claxton? What would the Mavericks be giving up? Actually, yeah. Yes. Early second rounder, Rob Will. Nurkic. I would honestly... how much is left on the... Oh my God. How much is left on this fucking contract? Is it 3 years? I am thinking of that clip of Kyrie yelling at Ben, "Shoot the fucking ball, Ben!" 2 years after this year. I would think about it. I would consider taking a flyer on Jackson Hayes. He's a free agent. I mean, Porzingis will probably be a free agent, so Jackson Hayes would get along wonderfully with J Kidd. Come on now, you don't have to do that. Dwight Powell is a free agent, yes. Dwight Powell, I just can't imagine him not being a Maverick next year. I just can't imagine it. Hartenstein, Zubac, Nurkic, Kevon Looney. Don't, like, the Warriors are not giving up Kevon Looney. How about this? 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 What about Draymond? What about Draymond? The Warriors are going to have to, like, one of the big Warriors 3 is probably gone. Ooh, I think you guys are a little too, I think you guys are a little too dismissive of that one. There's no way the Mavs re-sign Powell. Oh, they're going to re-sign Dwight Powell, man. I know you'd have to pay him. He's what? Does he have a player's option? Yeah, $27 million player option. I don't even know how that would work. I mean, you got to trade for a center. Like, that's just it. You have to trade for one of these guys. I could definitely see Clint Capella being an option. $27 million for Dwight Powell? Oh, no. I'm talking about Draymond Green. Dwight Powell's making like $10 million or something like that. Or like 11. Yeah, $11 million a year. Nobody likes Dre as a person, but as a championship piece, he'd make y'all better, no question. I mean, just a connector on offense, and then defensively, hey, look, former Mavs legend Isaiah Roby just got released. Jaren Jackson Jr., no chance. Unless, like, it comes out that John Morant actually shot and murdered somebody and the Grizzlies were just blowing up their team. That's not happening. Trade for 11 games of Isaac next year? I mean, I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Jonathan Isaac if it's, like, literally nothing. Vanderbilt, maybe. Andre Drummond or Vucevic? I don't want Drummond at all. And Vucevic just does not. Miles Bridges? Miles Bridges is staying in Charlotte. There was actually some reports recently that, like, he could play this year. Did you guys see those? There's some reports that, like, Miles Bridges was, like, preparing to play this season. Recently. Honest to God, man, if they could swing, if they end up getting Wembanyama, LaMelo, Miles Bridges, and Wemby is pretty sick. I'm pretty sure Bridges is still a restricted free agent. I'm pretty sure. I don't think the Hornets ever actually unprotected him, so it's just not happening. Yeah, Mark Williams has been really good too. He's a rookie though. They're not getting rid of him. Would you trade Luka for the #1 pick of the draft? No chance. I like Mark Williams a lot. That's another, like, Mark Williams was a lottery pick, but like these, like, centers, man, sometimes they're so undervalued in the draft that you could sneak one out. 15th overall. Is that the lottery? I forgot how many fucking picks there are in the lottery. Half the fucking league makes it, so that's not the lottery, right? SJ's pod mentioned trading Kyrie to LA if they have like the 12th pick. How would you feel about that? Would they keep their pick in that circumstance? What's the deal with the Pelicans pick? Is it a pick swap? I feel like AD's gonna ask for a trade after the playoffs. Not happy in LA. Oh, okay. I mean, if Kyrie's walking, and that's the sign and trade, yeah, that's interesting. I do know because I was listening to some like draft podcast, and they're saying how the draft is not as deep as we all kind of thought it was going to be. Like, it's obviously super top heavy, but then it's like kind of just like, eh. Yeah, the AD stuff is all weird. Okay. So we're going to talk about the duos, best duos in the league. This was supposed to lead the fucking show, and we're an hour in. That's good. Cam's a Magic fan. Cam, do you think there's any world that exists? You guys land Wembanyama. You guys land Wembanyama. Wendell Carter's available. I'm gonna guess no chance. See some people saying we should get AD. I mean, on paper, AD's a better fit next to Luka than Kyrie, just realistically speaking. That's a weird thing for the Lakers, though. Like, would they be that done with? I just don't understand that. Would they just be that done with AD that? Would they be that done with Anthony Davis that like they would replace him with Kyrie? AD's health issues aren't worth it. I mean, Kyrie has health issues though. I could definitely see Hardy getting traded. I just don't know what his value would be. It's not like it's super high. Josh Green's probably not safe. If the Mavericks want to make like big moves, Josh Green is not a safe individual. All right. You know what? I'm scrapping the best duos. It's Luka and Kyrie. They're the fucking best duo. If I'm just looking at my my top 100 list without spoiling anything, even though I'm going to spoil stuff right now, the two highest ranked duos, teammates, is Luka and Kyrie, followed very closely by Embiid and Harden. This isn't like going off a fit. This is just ranking wise. Then you have KD and D-Book. Then Kawhi, Paul George. Then Giannis and Drew. Oh, man. Celtics fans are not going to like my rankings. Then Donovan Mitchell. No. Then Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Then Donovan Mitchell, DG, the PG. JB and JT, okay. Out of the players I said were better than them as just combinations, which one was wrong? Harden and Embiid? I would rather have Harden and Embiid right now than Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I don't think people realize how fucking good James Harden has been. I really don't. I think Embiid's been better than Tatum this season when he's on the floor. Close. Like, very close. Don't get me wrong. I have them literally right next to each other in the rankings. Yeah, okay, I agree. Paul George and Kawhi are probably too high. But you know what? Actually, if I had like a scoring system, Tatum and Brown would be higher. I do not think Jaylen Brown is miles better than Harden. I just don't. This is ranked for this year, period. Only this season. My top 100 rankings moving forward, they're just going to be updated by what we have seen. You know, it's not, there's no like, oh, well, 4 years ago, this guy did this, so we still got to believe in him. Like, it's just purely, okay, the last like 10 seasons, not 10 seasons, the last like 10 months. Like, I'm just looking, and the funny thing, I started these rankings before Kyrie got traded to the Mavericks. So his ranking is even before he became a member of the Mavericks. It's just off of this year. KD is arguably the best player in the world when healthy, and no book can't be doubled or triple teamed like usual for the first time in his career. They might surprise you. Oh no, I have them high. Don't get me wrong. They're very high. I've always been high on KD. I think he's fucking awesome. And the only reason why D-Book's probably not even higher in my rankings is because he did miss a ton of time. I did take that into account a little bit with some of these guys. If there were guys who are close to each other and one guy has played 15 more games, just give him the benefit of the doubt. Or Stephen Clay. I'm not spoiling the locations of anybody. I will say, though, I did have to move Clay up from where I thought he would be, which is shocking coming from me. All right, so let's get it. Okay, here's my primer. So what's this? This is going to be players who dropped out of my preseason top 100 list, players who are added into my new list who weren't in it before, and then I'm also going to go over the biggest risers and the biggest fallers. Okay. So here are the players who dropped off. And see, like Benedict Mathurin, I had him at 100th. This isn't fair to Ben Math. He's been really good as a rookie. He's been awesome. I'm sure Pacers fans love what they see. It was just way too aggressive for me to put him in the top 100. I figured like there's always at least 2 to 3 rookies who make their way into the top 100, right? At the end of the season, at least. And I just figured Ben Math would be one of them. And he's good. Like, don't get me wrong, he's been great, but he's not a top 100 player. Colin Sexton was right on the outside of my top 100. But, I mean, I had him at like 99th. A lot of guys from my preseason top, like the 100 to 90 range fell off. Kevin Porter Jr., who was 98th, he's out. Don't need to explain myself there. Terry Rozier fell out. One of the worst volume scores efficiency-wise, like in a long fucking time. You know, I think that he would honestly be pretty good, though, like in a different role. To be honest with you, I don't think we've seen the end of Terry Rozier. Seth Curry's been horrific. He's out. Surprised I even had him in it. Herb Jones, probably not fair to him. Like he shines on a better performing team. The Pelicans have just been really bad lately, so he's out. Norm Powell literally right on the outside looking in. Keegan Murray, again, just I went back and I looked at my preseason predictions. I had Keegan Murray winning Rookie of the Year. So just way too high on him. He's been really good, though. Like, Keegan Murray has been awesome for a rookie. Been really fucking good. So, not really fair to him. Gary Trent fell out. I stopped putting the pictures on because I didn't want to look for that shit. Jonas Valanciunas falls out. Again, if the Pelicans were better, like, we'd think differently of these players for sure. Dylan Brooks out. And Christian Wood out. Dylan Brooks, God, offensively, it is just horrible. Like, I really wanted to put him in here defensively because it is great, man. Like, he guards the best player on the best player on the other team every night. He's pretty good at it. But holy shit, dude. Offensively, it is horrible. It is so bad. And you'll notice, like, I have guys, like, defensive-minded guys in my top 100. And the reason why, who do nothing on offense. And I would rather have that. You know, like, I have black holes on offense who are strictly defenders. And I would rather have that than what you get with Dylan Brooks. You know? And Christian Wood falls out. I don't think he's been a top 100 player. Talent-wise, is he a top 100 player? Yes, for sure he is. Definitely. I'd rather have Frank than Dylan. See, I don't know about that. If a team could just get a hold of Dylan Brooks and say, listen, man, you're not shooting as many shots as you want, okay? Like, you're going to shoot threes when you catch and shoot threes, like, occasionally. Like, we want you to have, like, a Derek White role on offense, mainly. We're like, just do what you need to do. Nothing more, nothing less. And play defense. Mavs legend DeAndre Jordan. And Christian Wood, it's just... it's been rough. It's been rough. So... he's out the top 100 for me. Man, this is brutal for the Mavericks game. Lonzo, I had him at 82nd. Obviously, he hasn't played this season, so not really fair to him. A few guys fell out because of injuries. And Dorian Finney-Smith just hasn't been that great this season. He's been terrible in Brooklyn, and it makes my heart hurt. Like, they don't like him. They don't like him. I've monitored the Nets subreddit. I've seen tweets. They do not like him. So it pains me greatly. I love Dorian Finney-Smith. I just couldn't. I mean, me putting him at 74th was just, that was too fucking much. Like, that was too aggressive on my end. So really, I set him up for failure in this regard. But Luka effect showing itself. When Wood dropped 25, yeah, I know. That Grizzlies game 2 of the season, they beat the Grizzlies by 30. Wood and Luka go off. That was like, holy shit. I think a lineup of Luka, Kyrie, Green, Kleba, and AD next year would break the NBA. I mean, that would be amazing, but impossible. John Collins falls out. Just a weird year for him, huh? An incredibly weird year for John Collins. Seriously, with DFS, did we escape a bad contract? No. His contract's not bad at all. Just not a top 100 player. And RJ fell out. I had RJ at 64th, and you want to know what's hilarious? I had him like in the high 80s, but I fucking bullied myself into moving him up. I have never liked RJ Barrett. I have never thought RJ Barrett was a good player, but my God, I kept seeing like all of the other publications preseason rankings, and they would have like RJ in the 90s. Some of them didn't have RJ at all. Some of them were way higher on RJ than this, and Knicks fans would just eviscerate them. So I thought, you know what? Maybe I just don't see it. Right? I'll buy in. Nope. Out. See ya. RJ out of the top 100. I don't think he's a good player. I just don't. Like, he'll hit a shot every now and then. Every now and then he'll have a game where he scores 30 points. But Ben Simmons out. I had Ben Simmons at 55. Holy shit. That was the worst ranking. See, that was by far the worst ranking I had. Ben Simmons, Sia, Kyle Lowry, Sia. Both guys completely and totally washed. No, RJ not being in the top 100 makes sense. When you look at the top 100, like, there's nobody in the 90s I would want RJ over. Ben Simmons is at 555. I really believed in Ben Simmons this year, but it's over. It's over. I feel like Ben Simmons should switch to being a center. While Barrett isn't efficient, you can't keep a 19.5 point per game score out of the top 100. Yeah, you can. I mean, Terry Rozier's averaging 20 points, and he's not in my top 100. So, or like right outside of 20 points. Kelly Oubre's been averaging 20 points most of the season. He's not in my top 100. Like, I don't care, really. I don't think RJ's a good defensive player. I mean, look, I have Jalen Green out of it. It's just been such a fucking tire fire in Houston. I don't want any part of anybody in that organization, really. It feels bad for Jalen Green. I really was a believer in him, and I still am, by the way. I still am. I still am a believer in him, but there's a lot of efficiency stuff that's not looking good for him in his development. Like a lot of history that says guys who are this inefficient rarely ever pan out, if ever. So there is no improvement. Yeah, there is no improvement. And I can't say I blame him. I really can't. And then the next 3 guys are all out because of injury. Obviously, Cade. I was a big believer in a Cade Cunningham breakout season. Like borderline all-star season. He got hurt immediately. Chris Middleton, I just felt weird ranking him. So end of season, I feel like I'll revisit this after the playoffs. And Chris Middleton will more than likely be back into his spot. But it just felt weird ranking him and Cat. Cat's just missed so much time. Chris Middleton took so much time to come back and then was not great early on and then has had some moments. But I just didn't. It was just weird. So I just decided not to rank them. But all 3 of these guys, obviously, I have no idea what the fuck is up with Cat. Like, is there any, like, there's 20 games left. I feel like we haven't heard anything. If Bronny is drafted to a bad team, you think LeBron would leave to play with him? I think, hasn't he already kind of walked that back? I think he's kind of walked that back already. Like saying, oh, well, it would just be a blessing to play, like, on the same court as him. Like, against him, too. Jalen Green might end up being Ben McLemore. No. Cat at 16 is kind of nutty. Dude, I mean, look, this was going into the season. Cat last year in the regular season was unbelievable. Like, he was absurdly good. That was definitely, and especially considering how I feel about bigs, that is a little bit of a surprising ranking in retrospect. But also, I will say this. Though. I was a big believer that Rudy Gobert would unlock some stuff for Cat. Like, I was a big believer in that trade. So, that probably has to do with it. So, those are all the guys who fell out of my top 100 list. Here are some of the guys who got added in. I stopped doing the pictures. It took too long. I wasn't going to do the pictures. Jakob Poeltl is in. I remember he was like 101 in my preseason rankings. I remember that. Jakob Poeltl's in. Devin Vassell is in. How weird with him. He's missed so much time, but fuck it. I'm a big Devin Vassell believer. He's in. I had to put him in. Emmanuel Quickly, definitely in. Definitely a top 100 player. Probably. God, if I had to vote, you would really have to convince me that he wasn't 6th man of the year. But he's been tremendous. A big reason why the Knicks are as good as they are. Emmanuel Quickly. And why their bench is as good as it is at times. Kevin Huerter. I feel like earlier in the season, he'd be way higher than what I have him. He's like right on the cusp. But he deserves it here. It hasn't been that great for him lately, but his start to the season was tremendous. Zubats, kind of shocked I didn't have him in my preseason top 100, but he deserves it here. Not ranked super high. Harrison Barnes. I remember he was right on the outside looking in too. But he's just been solid as fuck. Like, Harrison Barnes, just a solid as hell player. Knows his role. He's in the top 100. Jaden McDaniels in the top 100. Outside chance to be first team all defense. I'd have to really think about it. But one of the best defenders in basketball, bar none, Jaden McDaniels. And this is kind of who I was talking about. Like, Dylan Brooks is probably capable of doing more things offensively than Jaden McDaniels. I'll say Jaden McDaniels is probably a better defender than Dylan Brooks. But, like, at least I know Jaden McDaniels is not shooting me out of basketball games. And the same goes for Caruso, who I also have on this list. Amazing defender. Offensively, doesn't do anything, right? But, like, at least he's not actively shooting me out of games consistently. Jordan Clarkson, I could have sworn I had him on my top 100 going into the season, but he's on here. Alperen Sengun. Oh, I skipped a few guys. Steven Adams. I can't believe I have Steven Adams in here, but the numbers are the numbers, man. He is like really the MVP of the fucking Grizzlies. Like, they are such a better team when Steven Adams is on the floor. So because of that, I feel like I have to give him some recognition in the top 100. Walker Kessler. Rookie Walker Kessler. He's been a top 100 player this year. He's been a top 100 player this season. Just through and through. He's been incredible. And in case you're wondering, I do have him ranked above Rudy Gobert. And yes, I did that intentionally. But yeah, he's been fucking amazing. Walker Kessler. Josh Hart. Have to have him on here. Just a great role player. Knows his role. Plays incredibly hard. Good defender. Can do a bunch of different things on the floor. Never plays outside of his role. Love guys like that. Alp, just playing in the worst franchise in the league. Through all the dysfunction, he's been tremendous, and he has shown incredible flashes. Still think Jalen Green has the highest potential on that team just because he's a perimeter guy. But do you have any duo name suggestions for Josh Green and Jaden Hardy? No, I'm bad at that stuff. What's the deal with the Steven Adams splits? It's just because he allows Jaren Jackson Jr. to roam. It's also because I think he sets a lot of Gortat screens and seals. Like, he literally opens up the lane for John Morant and other guys with those seals. And he's a great rebounder. But the numbers are absolutely crazy. Kevon Looney, I cannot believe I didn't have him in my top 100. Especially after what he did to the Mavericks. That might have been a salty decision on my part. D'Anthony Melton. I think he's been really fucking good. Obviously, he forced Tyrese Maxey to the bench. Even though I think they changed that recently. Like last night, Maxey started and Melton came off the bench. But D'Anthony Melton was so good defensively early in the season that he literally forced the Sixers to bench like their young up-and-coming star, Tyrese Maxey. Cameron Johnson came off of an injury, but he's been really good this year. Like, I was shocked to look at Cameron Johnson's numbers. Like, his shooting stuff is just crazy. Caruso, defensively, one of the best defenders in the league. Incredible defender. Offensive black hole for sure. But doesn't play outside of his head ever. Yeah, Cam Johnson's been great on the Nets. Buddy Hield. I'm surprised because I was looking at like some updated top 100 lists and I never saw Buddy Hield in any of them, and that shocks me. I think Buddy has definitely been a top 100 player this year. I mean, shooting the numbers that he shoots at that volume is crazy. And in a league that really values shooting, I think he's got to be a top 100 player. In fairness to Maxey, the Sixers have enough offense in their starting lineup already. Yeah, that's true. And he was coming off of an injury, too. You have to admit, Kyrie lifts a lot of Luka's shoulders on the offensive end. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, I do remember when Luka cooked Cam Johnson. That was amazing. Bojan, obviously. I mean, need I say more? Some of the stuff he did this season with the Pistons is absolutely insane. So Bojan enters the top 100. Kuzma, obviously, top 100 player. No questions about it. Borderline top 50 guy. Brook Lopez, Nick Claxton, both probably going to finish top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting. I'm assuming Brook Lopez will probably get second. Although I've heard podcasts hosted by like people who have votes who are like, I don't know where the Brook Lopez Defensive Player of the Year stuff is coming. It's not happening. KP was these are guys who are added to my top 100. KP was already in my top 100, so. And obviously Lauri Markkanen. This was the big this was the big fuck up. I didn't rank this person heading into the season. Lauri Markkanen. From unranked to starting in the All-Star game. Pretty tremendous stuff. Where do you think the Mavericks end the year on seeding? I don't know. I really don't. I'm actually done predicting. I change my answer every other day. I'm just going to let it play out. But anyways, so these are the guys who I added to my top 100 list who were not in my top 100 list originally. I don't think anyone but Tinfoil Hat Bulls fans knew how good Lauri was going to be. Well, there's also like one. He was fantastic in Eurobasket. And sometimes I wonder, like, you guys have played any sport, right? There is something to, especially if it's like you're on like a highly competitive team, and maybe you're not like playing all that great, or you're not getting that much playing time, and you go and you play for a lower competitive team and you just kind of dominate. That just does so much shit for your confidence, you know? Like, it's just like, oh yeah, I am really good. That's right, I forgot. But there's also a ton of shooting stuff. Like, Lauri Markkanen takes less dribbles than Klay Thompson. Do you guys know that? Better brother duo. Brook Lopez and Robin Lopez. Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol. All time? Definitely Pau and Mark. Pau Gasol's a Hall of Famer. I don't think any of the Lopez brothers. Maybe Brook. I mean, Marc Gasol's probably going to be a Hall of Famer too, right? But anyways, there's some shooting stuff with Markkanen that I think is probably going to fall back down to earth a little bit. Şengün was carrying Turkey this past summer, and he gets the ball 4 times a game in Houston. Yeah, Houston's just a fucking tire fire. So that actually attributed to my Şengün rankings a little bit, where it was like, this guy is doing really productive stuff. In that situation, that's a great player. That's a great player. Basketball Hall of Fame counts every time kind of basketball. So yeah, both. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Because did Spain win a gold medal or something with those brothers? Or I don't know. Here are my biggest risers. So Markkanen is probably the biggest riser in total, from going not ranked to, don't want to say where he is exactly, but around the top 20 for this season. Biggest rankers, biggest movers who are already on the list. Julius Randle took a huge leap forward. I think like 60 spots. I was just really disgusted by what I saw last season from him, as was pretty much everybody. But damn it, he's back to his All-NBA form. I don't think he's going to be an All-NBA guy like he was 2 years ago when he won Most Improved, but he's been amazing. Yeah, you can't put 2 good years in a row together, but hopefully that changes soon. But yeah, that's it is weird. It's just so weird how last year it felt like there's no way Julius Randle will ever be a New York Knick again, and then everything's just fine now. Really weird. No, I do not trust Julius Randle in the playoffs, but we'll see. I'm rooting for the Knicks. Legitimately, I am. Sabonis, the reason why I had Sabonis so low in my preseason rankings, I think I had him like in the 70s. In the 70s in my original list. The reason why was in Eurobasket, the guy got played off the floor. Can you see Brunson folding in the playoffs and Knicks fans turn on him? I hope not, man. I'm not streaming any games tonight. Yeah, it was because of Eurobasket. Like, I literally watched him get played off the floor. It was crazy. But he's been fucking awesome this year. Probably going to be 3rd team All-NBA center if I had to guess. If I had to vote, I would put Bam personally. But you guys know I'm a big-time Bam believer. But knowing the voters, they're definitely going to go Sabonis. That's not a bad choice. I don't like that's a bad choice or anything. Aaron Gordon, big riser. And that's kind of crazy to me because I felt preseason I was higher on him than most people were. But he's taken a huge step forward. I don't think people really understand how great Aaron Gordon has been this season. Defensively, the guy in Denver. He's guarding the other team's best player, and he usually does a tremendous job. And offensively, man, he like fits like a fucking glove next to Jokic. With the cutting, he can shoot off the catch. He could do stuff off the dribble if needed. Like, he's having a tremendous season. And he's definitely a big riser. Derek White, gigantic riser. Big. Where do you guys think Derek White? Do you think I have Derek White in my top 50 or outside my top 50? And would it be crazy to have Derek White as a top 50 player this year? What do you guys think? Because Derek White just does everything He's not like incredible. He's not like an incredible player at anything, but he's good at everything. And he just plays his role so incredibly well. I actually have him on the outside, by the way. Just right on the outside, though. Not even the best backup guard on that team. See, the thing is Brogdon, I'm assuming we're talking about Brogdon. Brogdon is, I love Brogdon. I have him decently high, too. But Brogdon is not very good defensively, whereas Derek White is legitimately good defensively. Tyrese Halliburton, big riser as well, obviously. Even though I had him 53rd heading into the season, which isn't low. I feel like that was just about right. That was about where everyone was with Tyrese Halliburton. Did not see this season coming, though. Like, legitimate star breakout. I mean, he just torched the Mavericks. We all saw that. But he's an incredible offensive engine. Can score from anywhere. The shooting is crazy. Minus 10 spots for shooting for it. Yeah, but they go in. And playmaking-wise, it's tremendous. Even though there's a lot of people out there who don't think he's a good playmaker. I don't know. I think that's a little bit crazy. He's definitely a great playmaker. And a perfect guard for Rick Carlisle. I mean, this is the type of shit he wants right here. So, Tyrese Halliburton, a big climber. And Clint Capella, also a pretty big riser. Not like a huge riser, but I think I had him like in the 90s going into the season. He's just way too important to Atlanta. Not a flawless player, and he didn't take like a gigantic step up, but I just wanted to shout him out because he was like in the lower 90s, and I think he's been way better than that this season. Who do you think we can beat in the East if we win the Western Conference Finals? Oh God, I don't know. I'm not even thinking about that shit. You'd have to pray to God it was like the Sixers somehow won the East, or like it was a game 7 between the Celtics and the Knicks, and the Celtics bus ran out of gas and they had a forfeit. And now the Knicks are in the finals. Like, that's what you'd have to hope. Biggest fallers. Well, spoil in the first one. These are guys who are still on the list and who have dropped off. Gobert, obviously, a huge drop. I can't believe how high I had Gobert. I cannot believe how high I had Gobert. I had him at 27 heading into the season. I had him ranked above Donovan Mitchell, which obviously a huge fucking oversight. I think it was only by 1 spot, but still. The reason why I did that, the reason why I remember this specifically, the reason why I had Gobert 1 spot over Donovan Mitchell is I wanted to send a message. I thought Rudy Gobert was a better player than Donovan Mitchell. Wow. Terrible. I learned my lesson. I learned a lot. Like, this season and stuff has taught me a lot about bigs. I will say that. So Gobert, still on my list. I still think he's a great defender. But he has fallen tremendously. And it is in danger of like, come playoff time, if they make the playoffs and it's rough, like, I could see him not even being in the post-playoff version of this top 100. Jordan Poole. I actually, believe it or not, I had Jordan Poole off this list entirely. I did not have him in my top 100. Just think that he's just, I don't know what. I'm trying to think of the best word to describe Jordan Poole as a player. And the word that comes to my mind the most, and this sounds mean, but goofy. Like, it's just like doing way too much, way too often. Just like a kind of a goofy player. But he is incredibly talented. I have him at 100, by the way. I actually like wanted him off the list entirely. I wanted him off the list. But he did go off last night directly after I tweeted, are we sure Jordan Poole's even a good player? He went off, and you know what? I'll put him at 100. There you go. Okay? Because he is talented enough offensively where he does some stuff sometimes, right? But he's very frustrating. I would be ripping my fucking hair out if he played on my team. It's not just the inconsistencies. It's just like the way that he plays, you know. But I think I still have him in my top 100, although I don't love it. And who knows? By the time I reveal this list, I might X him out. We'll see. Tyrese Maxey, this isn't really his fault. Injuries and moving to the bench, sort of, in a really rough shooting stretch at one point in the season, really kind of dropped him off a little bit. I also was really high on him going into the season, so not necessarily his fault. He's still good. He's still great. He's still in my top 100, but he dropped a little bit. Yeah, the fit is weird. Like, it's not his fault. Logan, $2. I would take Mavs over Warriors. Luka got help now. I mean, this Mavs team is just this Warriors team. You never want to count them out, but I'm counting them out. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Maxey was great earlier in the season too. I mean, he was great last night against the Mavericks, but he's still on my list. Giddey has fallen. I'm still keeping him on my list. I had him at 65. I actually predicted a really big breakout. I think I actually picked Giddey to be my most improved player, and he has improved, but not like tremendously. He's still horrible defensively. I still think there's like some learning stuff. What really is his role next to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? And I'm really I think Chet coming back obviously is going to help them out defensively, but I think it's going to unlock Giddey even further playing with a guy like that. We know the Warriors are in the playoffs, but I don't see them coming out the West. They're just so they haven't lost a series when Steph and Clay and Draymond were healthy. 565 is pretty low for him, to be honest. I mean, that's what I had him going into the season. He's still on my list. I think he's a tremendous playmaker. And CJ McCollum also fallen. I mean, again, not really his fault. Like, he's there to be the number 3 guy. He's there to be their third option. They need a real point guard, I think. But he's there to be their third option. And for most of the season, he's been asked to be the number 1 guy. So not really his fault. He's still on my list, but he did fall kind of significantly. And yeah, that's it. Those are the biggest risers, biggest fallers, new additions, guys who are out. Guys who still on the list. I love my list, man. I love it. I think there's somebody in the top 5 that might shock you. But if we're just going purely off of this season and this season alone, there's somebody in the top 5 who might shock you. Any guesses? Kyrie? No. SGA? No. I don't have Shea in my top 5. No. I do have Shea in my top 10. No, not Brunson. Come on, it's like a legit top 6, 7 guy. No, not Donovan Mitchell. Well, I'll just leave you guys on that. Mason Plumlee. I actually thought about putting Plumlee on my top 100, but I didn't. Dame? No, THJ's not on the top 100. I have Giannis number 1. I'm just spoiling that right now. I love my list, man. Maybe do some tweaking here and there, but for the most part, I feel like it's exactly where I want it to be. No, Russ is not in my list. Drazen Petrovic. I'm not saying where anyone else is. That's the whole fucking point of revealing it. So, I'm thinking Monday, I'll go over 100 to 50, right? We'll just kind of go through those guys pretty quickly. The 100 to 50 guys, I feel like from 100 to 80, they're all guys who you could say those aren't top 100 players or those are top 100 players, whatever. I feel like the top 70 or so is like okay, these guys are in everyone's list. Mikal Bridges is actually not that big of a riser for me, only because I was pretty high on him heading into the season. So let's just look at my top 100 player list from before the season, just so you guys get like an understanding. Obviously, we already talked about some of these guys who are no longer on the list. Like I'm not gonna lie, I myself was pretty shocked as to how little movement there was in the top 50. Oh yeah, Facu Kambaza. Whenever I was looking at this, I was like, wait, what the? And then I remember like the Mavericks just signed Facu, and it was like the joke. But at first I was like, was that like fucked up or something? And I put Facu. Like I actually was being serious. KP is one of the biggest risers. Did I mention him in my biggest risers? Oh, I didn't. Kristaps is a huge riser. But anyways, like the top 50, like there's not a lot of movement, man. I feel like I did a pretty decent job. Is this players regardless of team or just individual feats? This is just players. I'm looking at stats and stuff. So like performance. How about that? How have players performed this season? Like okay, like I feel like me having Desmond Bane in the top like 46 was pretty aggressive. No, heading into the season. It's like Mikal at 44. That's pretty high. I feel like there's not like around this range. How much higher can he realistically get? Very aggressive on Cade Cunningham. Why top 5? Man, tune in on Monday. Or actually, the top 5 would probably be like next Friday. So just wait it out. Shea at 30. Big mover. And I thought I was high on Shea. Turns out I wasn't even close to being high enough. Yeah, look. I had Gobert one spot ahead of Donovan Mitchell. I remember thinking at the time, like, I'm so fresh, man. Like, I'm really making a statement here. I'm, like, really making a statement. Shea prop, I'll be there no matter what. Like, okay, I was like, my God, I can't believe how high I was on Drew. 25 for Drew is high. Heading into the season. Right? Or am I just giving myself too much credit? I was pretty aggressive with Ant, even though he ended up being around this good. See, like, my top 25, like, who's fallen out of this? I was a pro Gobert trade for the Mavs, but I thought that it would take one first-round pick or something. I did not think that it would cost what it costs to get Rudy Gobert, in my defense. I was thinking like, hey, one first-round pick, we can snag Gobert. Like, I'll eat the contract. We need a rim protector. But no, considering his contract, fuck no. I mean, he was an All-Star Championship winner. True, but like 10 years removed. Where's Kyrie for you now? You guys got to tune in. I mean, where did I have Kyrie? 32? Yeah, I had him at 32, which for his on-court play is just too low. But I mean, there were some, like, ESPN had him in like the 60s. So Why does your shirt say Slut? Oh, it's the All-Star games. Salt Lake, Utah. Salt Lake City, Utah. It doesn't say Slut, man. It's Salt Lake. Come on. I think it was based on availability. 20 for Zach LaVine. I might need to go rewatch this stream. That seems absurd. That seems that way. Hold on. I might need to find this stream and pull it up. What could possibly... Where even is this stream? Slightly biased live. The top 100 players in the NBA. All right, here it is. He's so talented offensively. Last year was a weird year for him because he was dealing with that knee injury for most of the season. But he still put up stupid numbers. A stupidly good offensive player. The chat looks way better. It's just really weird for me to put like this. Point guards who have the ball in their hands a lot as a number 2. I don't know. Here we go. 20 Zach LaVine. I think he's better. You were probably talking yourself into the Mavs trade for me. That really might be what it was. Than Jaylen Brown. I think he's still just a stupidly good offensive player. Like efficiency, volume, it's all through the fucking roof. Like he's so talented offensively. Last year was a weird year for him because he was dealing with that knee injury for most of the season. But he still put up stupid numbers. Like his growth and development, it really is one of the bigger success stories in the league. It really is. It always feels like with guys like LaVine who come to the league, like they're just insanely athletic, but kind of raw. It feels like very rarely. Feels like very rarely. Does your voice sound weird? No, not really. I don't hate my voice. I used to hate my voice. I've talked about this before. My voice used to be like higher than this, and I think I subconsciously like lowered it over time. To the point where it just became my voice. And my voice became a little bit more like raspy and stuff. But I didn't like consciously do it. Does that make sense? I used to absolutely hate my voice. I don't hate it anymore. Wait, hold on. I want to... Because I know I was feeling myself whenever I had Rudy Gobert over Donovan Mitchell. Speaking of Rudy Gobert... Like, I know I really... A lot of that has to do with playing alongside Rudy Gobert. But love Donovan Mitchell. Good player. Bad taste in my mouth last time we saw him. That's fair. Look, I'll give myself a little bit of a pass there. That was a joke. He, like, legitimately quit on the floor for Utah. Speaking of Rudy Gobert. Here he is at 27. Another very difficult player to rank. Another very, very difficult player to rank just because, we know what he does in the regular season every single year. He's a walking top 7 defense. Obviously, I was very wrong on Gobert. The LaVine one at 20 is crazy. None of these are crazy, though. Cat at 16, that is high. Especially high for me. I don't really like bigs. Yeah, Donovan looked terrible against the Mavs. And offensively. If he's on the floor. We know that. Wasn't incredible last year, but we'll let that slide. Whatever. This was way higher than I thought I was going to go with Cat. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. This is way higher than I thought I would end up with Karl Anthony Towns. But my God, his offensive numbers are unreal. Like, it's just, he's such a weapon offensively. Such an unbelievable weapon offensively. There's not a problem with the only thing with him is definitely... It's just playoff stuff. It just is playoff stuff. Trey, okay, Trey top 10. I mean, I was unapologetically high on Trey. What star players playing can you see not winning a championship in their career? Oh yeah, Dame's gonna retire ringless. DeRozan, I don't know if I would even call him a star at this point. Too early to say for some of the young guys. I mean, Trey obviously fell quite a bit in my rankings, but I'm still higher on
That
him, I would
really
say,
is
than
what it
most
is.
anybody. Just think that he's
Play.
like
Guy
he's
is an
just
offen-
too fucking good offensively, man.
Trey- Playoffs, this guy just ascends. Most guys don't do that. And every now and then a guy will have a terrible playoff series. I mean, Jimmy 2 years ago against the Bucks when they got swept was horrible.
True.
Trey is better than Ja. I mean, all these.
Oh. 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 God.
That Diet Coke was sitting there for days. These guys are close. Like, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, Trey is 10, Ja's 13, Trey's.
My top 10 was pretty bulletproof. In fact, everybody in the top 10 outside of Trae Young is still in the top 10. That is, I'm a genius. I am a genius. All right, so that was my top 100 primer. Monday we'll start. Right? Mavericks don't play on Monday. Monday we will start. Maybe I'll have this shirt in by then. Oh, Barstool actually did delete this tweet. Look at that. There was this tweet going around of like Devin Booker shaking hands with. It ended up being what's his name? Eric Collins, right? The Charlotte Hornets play-by-play guy. It was his daughter, who was later found out is 17 years old. And I will admit, like, you know, it was friendly. Devin Booker was shaking her hand and stuff. Like, I don't know. But anyways, Barstool tweeted, oh, Devin Booker rizzing up this baddie. Devin Booker rizzing up this baddie. And it turns out it was a minor. I was like, okay, that's fucking weird. And also, like, weird for Devin Booker. If I was Devin Booker, I'd be like, dude, delete this shit, please. But anyway, some good games tonight. We'll definitely be tuning in. You know, Celtics Nets, obviously. A month ago, this would be a marquee matchup, but Trailblazers Hawks, this could be fun, if not just for the desperation of both teams. Magic Hornets, God bless. There's no reason to watch the Hornets right now. God bless them. Surprised this is a 4-point spread and not bigger, to be honest with you. Knicks Heat is fun. Definitely watching that game the moment it starts. Suns Bulls, obviously, assuming KD's playing, which he is. Okay. That's a fun watch, too. Surprised, again, only 3.5 points? Really? Okay. Jazz Thunder is fun. I mean, there's some, like, legit play-in stuff today. You see Undisputed take where Eddie... Who's Eddie? Eddie said fire J-Kid immediately today. See, I don't know who any of these reoccurring, like, first take characters are. I don't watch. Eddie Johnson, the Suns guy. Grizzlies Nuggets, juicy. Oh, Eddie House. Pelicans Warriors, Clippers Kings, that could be fun. No Kawhi. Timberwolves Lakers will actually be a lot of fun. I will be tuning into that game too. So some good games today. I don't know if there's much tomorrow. Usually Saturdays it seems like they'll have their night game, and outside of that, like Raptors Wizards, some pretty fun play-in implications for that game. Pistons Cavs, Hawks Heat, that's a pretty fun game. Both these teams playing tonight though. Rockets Spurs. How many people do you think will be watching this game? Do you think more or less than 12? 76ers and Bucks, that's a great game. Timberwolves Kings is pretty fun too. Did the Antonellis make your new top 100? No, the Antonellis fell off. The Antonellis fell way the fuck off. And then Sunday. Woo! Woo! This will be the next time I'm live, by the way. Noon. 11:45 a.m. The ass crack of dawn, essentially. That's the next time I'll be live. Make sure you guys tune in. And then Monday, we'll start my top 100 list. My God, the NBA. This is peak NBA time, right? Especially now that teams fucked around the entire first 60 games of the season. So, like, now a team's like, oh, shit, we have to win now. Like, oh, my God. Like, we've been fucking around so much, but thankfully so has every other team. So now, like, now we have to really try. This is great times. Great times. Mavs, yeah, like, Euro fans, this is great. Euro fans get to tune in prime time. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm loving these day streams, by the way. I'm loving them. I like them more than doing non-Mav streams, truthfully. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. All of the OGs, you guys know I love you very, very much. Top 100 player list next week. Mav stream on Sunday. Big game. Nothing tomorrow. And by the way, doing these day streams now almost essentially guarantees I stream at least 6 days a week. At least 6 days a week. Which is pretty intense, but I'm here for it. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. We post content almost daily. We stream almost daily. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that. But it helps me out tremendously. It makes me feel so good. Love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your Saturday. Have a good weekend, everybody. I'll see you Sunday. Mavericks and Suns. What a matchup. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Love you guys. Marina has followed my Twitch channel. I do have a Twitch channel. Maybe I'm thinking, I'm not going to promise anything right now. Maybe in the summer during the off season, we'll start streaming like video games or something over there. I don't know. Anyways, love you guys. Peace.